Good afternoon. Welcome to People and Places Business. This is a program where we look at businesses, we look at profiles of very prominent people, and I'm glad today to announce that we are very much honored at Channel Yemaswati to have been visited or conducted a visit to the Consul General of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Ashraf. Welcome, sir, and we very much glad to have been invited here now. We just want to know more about yourself. First, who is His Excellency?
My name is Kareem Ashraff. I came 40 years ago from Kenya with my wife, and now we are happily staying here for the last 40 years with my daughter and my granddaughter and my son-in-law. And it is a good journey from East Africa to Southern Africa, that we moved to a right place and we grew up.
And how did you know about the King of Eswatini?
I was privileged that some 36 years ago I was called to do some attire for him, and that was it. After that he never left me, and up to today I'm doing the same thing for him, for all his apparel which he wears for international occasions, for his uniform for police, prison and army. I'm privileged to make them up to now.
Yes, and I believe that also you are friends with His Royal Highness Prince Somatla.
Yeah, that was the reason we came here. He was studying medicine in Kenya, in Nairobi, and we were very close, and he invited me to come to this beautiful kingdom. And I ended up here, and then from there, rest is history. Never went back.
Yes. And now I believe you ventured into so many businesses, some of them we know at a very young age. Just tell us more.
When I came here, I took one business which was established in 1945, and it was the oldest shop, the man shop, and I became the fourth owner of that one. And from there I started another very upmarket shop called Amati Dinati. It was exclusively for the people from East Africa and Central Africa who were not allowed to go to Southern Africa for apartheid reasons and for different. So they used to come here, they fly in their private jet sometime, and they do shopping at my place and then go back after the shopping. After that, one day I was approached by correctional services. At that time it was prison services, that if I could do some uniform. And I said, look, let me try. And I ventured into uniform business, and then it grew. Now I'm doing, from that time, I started doing the police, army, customs, immigration, and up to today, that was my core business which I started. I'm still doing the same thing. Plus some other businesses which came, like paper, pharmaceutical. Paper, there was a mill which stayed for 15 years, it was closed. And I bought that mill, and people were asking, how are you going to cut it and sell it as a scrap metal? I said, no, I'm going to start, and they were laughing at me. So I said, it's not a rocket science. And after 6 years, His Majesty opened it 2 weeks ago, and I'm doing 100 tons a day, 3 shifts. And now I've been challenged by His Majesty, after seeing that progress, that I should start making boxes instead of supplying the craft paper to South Africa, and the boxes come from South Africa to here. So that challenge I have taken it, and I'm involved in another business, pharmaceutical, where graciously His Majesty gave me a land in Royal Science and Technology Park. There I am going to manufacture the general trade products like syrup, paracetamol, and some research project when I'll have a joint venture with a multinational company. But my target is my first product should come out in December. The machines are already here.
Well, I realized there when His Majesty conducted a visit to your area, to your company, there's just so many people that you're employing. How many people is that company employing?
At the moment, we have got 230 on the mill side, and I'm also involved in the interior. We are doing ICC. We have got around 240 in ICC, and now we will take some more intake because of the box factory. We are trying to do it, and after that followed by tissue paper, because nobody makes tissue here, they convert it, so we want to put up a plant to do tissue, which it used to happen some 20 years ago when Swazi paper mill was here, but they closed down and I'm starting again everything from the beginning.
You are by far the most successful businessman in the Kingdom of Eswatini. Now tell us more, what's your secret? What's the secret of your success?
It's a very small thing. Never forget your creditor and never leave your debtors. Both are so important to you. If you don't forget your creditor, he'll be happy, and you talk nicely to your debtor, he'll pay back the money he owes you. That's a small thing. If you look after, the way I believe that after God, creditor is the one who represents God. Take care of him, the business will take care of itself.
And now, now let's get into the pharmaceutical industry. There's been so much talk, well, about Swazi Farm especially. When did you acquire Swazi Farm on a full-time basis? Because I believe you were once a partner.
Swazi Farm, I was there for a long time as a minor partner, shareholder. Actually, I had nothing to do with that day-to-day operations, and they were running it. I realized in 2023 that overdrafts was going bigger, it was not done financially so well. So when I came, same time the incident happened, that there was a turmoil in health industry. They took out some officials from health ministry who was doing the procurement, and then some news came that we were the one who were supplying goods. Sometimes we don't supply and get the money, which was all total rubbish, done by a ghost company called Funduzi Forensic, who changes the faces with different characters coming out representing that company, but nobody comes out clean that who they are, where they come from, what is their origin. I have taken government through Attorney General through the court of law that they should give me the report on this, their findings. Up to today I have not received anything. And whenever I asked, he said, no, they are working on it. And unfortunate for all of us that the report was not submitted to the cabinet, but a miracle. I only say that it's a very strange thing that the finance minister tabled that thing in the parliament, which is supposed to be a summary of that report, which is unheard of. I mean, if I am or anybody else, we are I think 9 or 10 suppliers who are mentioned there. If we were called, we could have explained by the same guys who are doing forensic for health, and of course we were the supplier. Nobody has ever contacted us from police, from correctional, from anti-corruption, from so-called Funduzi. I don't know whether they exist or not. It's a homemade thing. I've got no idea. But nobody. But they have got all the things they have said about us in social media, not in public. No letter ever came to us. Nobody pointed a finger at us. And the funny thing is, the people, they said, the institution, the international organization like United Nations, WHO, there's a gentleman who represents WHO, George Washira, that they have given government a donation of the drugs, which we are the only supplier and agent in this country for free of charge, and government paid us, I don't know what, royalty or something. But it is coming every second day. They are pointing a finger for the goods which we have never supplied, we were paid. We have got all the records, how we got the drugs, how we imported here, who took the delivery. But these people have got no decency, particularly this George Washira and this some Tembe lady from WHO, to come out in public and say, no, we never supplied a single tablet or single vial of these things. That worries me a lot, that these tourists come here transiting, ruin our names, we work so hard, and then in a couple of years they will go back, they'll forget about, because they are not a citizen of this country, they just come here to help, so-called help, which I don't know how they are helping us.
Yes, now you've touched on a very important point, remdesivir. That's the drug which had to help some people here in the Kingdom of Eswatini. Now tell me more about that one, because yes, the private secretary, principal secretary in the Ministry of Finance gave two stories in Parliament, about government having written, or rather presented a report, and then later he was queried and then changed. And I read through that report and I realized that also Sonke S'khatsi was involved. Tell me exactly about remdesivir.
It's a very funny story. We are the only one in this region, which is except South Africa, because they have got their own presence of agency of remdesivir, but we are the sole agent of remdesivir, which is made by Mylan, America. When this pandemic started, there was a big panic and everybody was looking for this wonder drug. And one set of drug came from Taiwan, but we had more casualties at that time. So the principal secretary at that time was Mr. Zwane. And he approached us and he said, whatever happens, can you please arrange? And because in private sector, we were also selling it, so there was no remdesivir locally. So he said, whatever happens, and then pandemic, there was no movement of people. There was movement of only food and other type of trucks which are moving with goods of fresh fruit or fruits to the food for the supermarkets. So we found out that in our stock, in our place in Namibia, we had a stock, and we said, yes, we have got, we can bring it. And we brought remdesivir here. We are the only one who brought, and first batch of 300 units was sold to Chinese medical mission, and that was delivered to Manzana Hospital. And then rest we gave it to Ministry of. Then he asked for more. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 4,100 sets were given it to and received by PS Health. I saved them, I saved their lives, and that's the result I get. In fact, when His Majesty announced when he recovered that this is a wonder drug, I was so happy that I telephoned a foreign minister at that time, Mrs. Thuli Dladla, that my sister, it was my drug I supplied and I saved His Majesty, I'm so happy. And she got so happy. She also told the minister, that time was Lizzie Nkosi. But I was so surprised that instead of thanking me, Lizzie came up with this silly idea of that no, it was not intravenous, it was intermuscular, and the strength was not the same. And I was really surprised whether this woman has been to school, university, the way she's talking, being a health minister. And after that, she kept quiet. And I never heard anything. And after some time, this inquiry started, I think 2 years later. And the name of this thing came that this drug was given as a donation. It was a trial drug by WHO, and because I'm the agent, I was paid for that drugs. It's a total lie. I checked with these guys. They said, no, we'll come back to you. Even this David Vashira, I contacted him twice. But these transit passengers, I don't know. They're here today, tomorrow they've gone. Up to today, he doesn't have a decency, or WHO has got a decency to come up. Tell the truth, that what they have supplied, when did they supply? I'll come with my figures, I'll come with my delivery notes, I'll come with my order, I'll come with my government orders which came to us. And let's see in public why we are on social media talking and talking bad things about each other instead of accepting. I would thought that I will be taken care of. In any case, I mean, they are very kind. Government of Eswatini is very kind. I'm the only foreigner who has been honored 3 times. So I'm indebted to this country. Whatever I made is the blessing of their majesties and the government of Eswatini. But some people, I don't know what is their agenda, they try their level best, but the truth will always be there. Whatever they do, my question is, I'm the only one who said in the paper, do not talk behind your back. Come. If you have got something, arrest me. Nobody talks like that. I said it, arrest me. I've never seen anti-corruption. I've never seen police. Everybody comes at night and tells me, no, you're right, we are praying for you. I think they are still praying for me. Nothing happened to me up to now because their prayers are answered. But those thugs who are sitting here doing nothing and tarnishing the name of business people, I'm at that stage of my life that if I don't do anything, I'm fine. I have done enough. I've got a lot of charities, a lot of orphanage, a lot of care points, a lot of organization. I'm involved with them and I'm very happy that I'm taking care of those people. But saying something which has got no value, you just point a finger and you believed in that thing, whatever rubbish you're talking about somebody. I'm waiting for this, I was called as PSC without telling me what they want to know. They have not given me anything, any questionnaire. I will go. I've got no problem in going. And I want to ask them what you're looking for. You should, any institution, any organization, any person, when you call them, you have to give them something to deliberate, a questionnaire or something. Nothing I've got. They gave me a www, their website, with the audit of every Tom, Dick and Harry to read. Then you shouldn't have called me. You should have called the whole world and tell them to go on to www. If your name is there, come and report. Is it a banana republic? Or is there any right for human being? I've tried my level best. I've got hundreds of kids who have been through school, colleges, universities. Everybody calls me at night, be brave, we are with you. But that doesn't, okay, fine, I'm okay. I know that nobody will touch me. I've not done anything wrong. But this thing, if I start telling you that he's bad, Alex is bad, Alex, you say, no, I know Alex very well. There's something wrong with Mr. Ashraf. But second time, third time, 10th time you will start thinking why I'm saying that Alex is bad. So that game of getting, because I'm the biggest in pharmaceutical, so you want the pie. No, it's in fact, this thing of saying, oh, this company, they're doing so much bad, so much wrong to this country, still you're giving them. No, you want to, and then we should blacklist. No, no, no. I blacklist you. I have blacklisted you before and you came begging to me that no, let's settle out of court. The case is still in the court. I wanted the money which they don't pay. Government is a worst paymaster. They don't pay you, but they need you. They'll sleep on your door at your stoop. That somebody is dying. We supplied goods without order sometime because the call came from ICU. That is 3 in the morning, he will die. We opened the place to give them the things. But after 1 year, they forgot that the guy who was recovered was dying that night. They don't think, because these are the civil servants who come and with the tendency which has gone that everything, if you don't bribe them, you don't get anything. So my question is, if you have done this forensic, why you did in TikTok, why you did on social media, why don't you have not taken the arms of the government? You had police, you have got intelligence, you have got anti-corruption. Why you go through some idiot sitting there? He accused His Majesty one day, he accused Prime Minister the second day, he accused everybody. You can't catch him. So, yes, I'm just waiting and seeing, hopefully, the truth will prevail. It doesn't happen, you keep on talking rubbish and people will do it. No. I'm the biggest in pharmaceutical, I'm the biggest in recycling, I'm the biggest in uniform. I didn't come yesterday. I pay tax like anybody else. So why all of a sudden I'm so bad?
Well, the Funduzi report, when it was made, were you interviewed? Did they call you for an interview? And also, how much do you know about them?
Funduzi is amazing. When my name came and when this Auditor General came to my house to negotiate what, I don't know, but he showed me some exhibit, case number 141, 142, 143, which was the same report what they are talking about. So I said, but this is a court document, it's a public thing, now you cannot change anything. What you're doing, no, I'm not interested in that. And the same thing I reported to the Finance Minister the following day, that your Auditor General was in my house. And he was shocked. And he told me, no, I'm so sorry, you should not. What I'm saying is, a company which is registered in 2022, October, were given a tender in December 2022 as a single source with the same PO box address with 2 companies. Why you're not cooking that company in your house? And after giving that one, then the finance also pay them. But still, if you're so good, I give a benefit of doubt that they were the best chosen from United Nations as a single source. What about us? Where you're pointing a finger at us? Why we were never called? Why nobody calls us? Why nobody asked us? Why nobody showed us any exhibit? And if you go to Funduzi, from October 2022 till 1st of August 2023, the Funduzi was in Makayane. From 1st of August 2023, all of a sudden, same Funduzi was registered in South Africa as DW Wealth Consultant Funduzi Pty Limited. 2 companies, first they tried to do it, DW Wealth Consultant, trading as Funduzi. They were told, no, you don't do this thing in South Africa. So they made the one company, DW Wealth Consultant Funduzi Forensic Services Pty Limited. And they accepted that one. Then they created another character called Zakele. I want to ask a simple question from this police who is sleeping here, the anti-corruption who is also sleeping like police. Go back, go to the registrar of the companies, check when the company was registered, who was the director of that company. The guy who is coming with a suit and tie and claiming to be the director of Fundusi Services, where was he when the tender was awarded? The minister knows. Commerce minister knows. Finance minister knows. Health minister knows. AG knows because that's his baby. Everybody knows. But you can't tell public. This guy was not there till 1st of August 2023. How he became kosher that he can come to give interviews in the paper. He said thank you to the minister. He should thank you. Is there anything which I don't know? Maybe police hands are tied, anti-corruption hands are tied. You know that these guys are fake. You can't go and ask the minister because you are corrupt also. What is the job of police? What is the job of the anti-corruption? Nobody came. Nobody. But I'm in the paper. I have done things which they know I don't know. Maybe I'll be dreaming something they will know I don't know. This George Vachira sitting there as the liaison officer for WHO and all the ministries, why can't he utter a word? No sir, I'm sorry, we did supply. When we supply 50,000, we jump. We celebrate so much. 9 million, we could have been in the Mount Everest celebrating. But he is quiet.
Yes, Your Excellency. I appreciate specifically what you've just mentioned right now in terms of you not knowing Fundusi. You've also explained about the remdesivir issue where you actually bought the medication for the Kingdom of Eswatini and you were later paid for pills that you had already acquired from Namibia.
We paid cash. We got cash from Chinese Medical Mission for 300. I can show you the receipts.
Yes.
And they delivered it to Manzana.
Yes.
Then the government came through Babezwane, the PS. They ordered 1,000 and 2,000, then they took all 4,100 vials. Now saying this thing that expired drugs, another thing I just remembered, saying this thing, another thing that goods were delivered. No, they are like a frog in the well. They're born in the well, so the whole world is that well. All over the world, when this pandemic gone, there are hundreds and thousands of remdesivir kept because nobody was using it. It just went. So when that expired, and my remdesivir did not expire then, it expired in 2024, 2023. We supplied in 2022. So you say that did we supply the expired drugs? No. But if you go, we are this the committee which is going and taking a photo shoot at the CMS that we saw the expired drugs. You are going after 5 years. The medicine is only for 24 months. Then you say the expired drugs. You'll go another 10 years, there'll be more expired drugs. Leave them for another 5 years. I mean, this is a joke. These guys are jokers.
Are you still supplying government?
That's also funny part. If I don't supply, you will die. Government cannot stay 1 week if I don't supply. From, if you insist, I will produce to you. The time this thing started in April 2023, from that time up to yesterday, I've supplied more than 120 million and supplying. We have put another order which is finishing for 43 million. They have never stopped me. They never said no because they know they will die if I don't supply. Ask the PS. Mabuza is there now. Before it was Mr. Zwane. Marsebula is the Minister of Health. The chair for this crisis, Mr. Mangnoba Numan, he is there. Neil is the finance minister is there. Ask them, is Swazi Farm supplying? Yes. Are you paying? Yes, we are trying. Not we are paying, we are trying. When they owe me 50 million, they pay me 5 million. I don't mind. But you take the money and spit on my face, I do mind.
Yes, and then where do we go from here? I believe that there's litigation on the one side, there's parliament on the other, and there's you on the other side complaining about being defamed. What are you going to do about it?
My only thing will be to the nation, the people of this country, including me. Choose decent people to represent you in the parliament. Do not pick guys from the street. And if you do people like that, they will not do research, they will not do anything, they will have an agenda, you can go and buy them. My question is, if before it has gone to PSC, why I was not approached by police, anti-corruption, Ministry of Health or anybody? You are collecting medicine from me on daily basis. Up to yesterday I supplied. Up to day before yesterday I got a new order. Let them deny. Whatever I said to you, ask the PS, are you buying from me? Ask the finance minister, Mr. Ashraff, why don't you let it become more blunt? Is Swazi Farm guilty? That should be your question. Ask all of them. The finance minister, the health minister, the commerce minister, the PS, and the ex-PS. This thing is unheard of. Who I have trampled his shoes? Who got hurt? I don't know. But you cannot touch me. You cannot stay without me.
Your Excellency, thank you very much. Unfortunately, because of time, there's just so many other questions that I had for you, but I believe that we'll also find some more time to discuss some of these issues because they keep on coming every single day. You know, every single day we read the newspapers, there's the issue of drugs, people are dying, and yet drugs are being bought.
Welcome back, viewers. You're still on People and Places. My name is Kawimamba. We're still on that issue. Well, today something happened in Parliament with regards to the same issue. Members of the PAC queried and posed questions on Ava Farm and also on Swazi Farm, I believe, and but basically, yeah, it is Swazi Farm indeed, about what happened, especially from 2021, about the acquisition of drugs, which basically has been addressed by Mr. Ashraff here. However, right now with me is Mr. Sean Morgan, who is the business management consultant for Ava Farm and Swazi Farm. And together we shall listen to some of the conversation that took place in Parliament, after which I'll be posing questions on him. In the meantime, let me greet you. How are you, Mr. Sean?
Good evening, and I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Yes, now I'm sure you're aware that so much happened today in Parliament. Would you be glad for us to listen in to what the MPs were saying?
Sure thing.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Now, Tabile, please take us through to Parliament and let's see what the MPs had to say.
If you can confirm to me that, because what I'm getting here is that you had WhatsApp calls, you're sending WhatsApp, you're delivering medicines. Do you normally, that's the way you used to do things?
Honourable, no, that wasn't the way we used to do things. That was an exception. I beg your pardon. Chair, that wasn't the way we used to do things. Apologies. No, that was a total emergency exception where people were dying.
Maybe I should have done it in the first instance, Dave. I direct the proceedings. So if he raises a question, it has to via through the chairperson. Honorable Zangamandla.
Thank you, Honorable Shaw. I'm still shocked. I'm running short of words. And I'm interested even to ask, was it a national business or a firm's business? Supplying drugs, getting an instruction from WhatsApp, even if an emergency. We do have an emergency order. We're supposed to get an emergency order, a legal tool or document that instructs our farm which must go and supply the River Banbayana drugs. This is unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. We cannot accept this thing. Communicating on WhatsApp, national business. Then you tell us that it was an emergency. Emergency for what? Because they could have even raised an emergency order, not communicating on WhatsApp. Because the former PS was representing the Minister of Health, which is one of the ministers of the country. Then that is why we are concerned. It's not about Farm and the former PS. You've breached the Procurement Act. And I'm certain the one who paid you
Namibians. From my side, I can prove that I paid for the drugs. I can prove that they came through the border, and I can prove that they were supplied to the ministry. As to the other allegation about cooking with a controlling officer, I find that disrespectful, distasteful, and beyond reproach.
Okay, I think
lying before this honorable committee. I also put it to him because he says he has never been to the CMS. He has never seen the boxes. We've seen the boxes. We've seen what he's talking about. And it is written not for donation. And it is there. So he comes here to lie. We will not accept that. He must just get it clear in his mind. We'll never accept that. We don't deal with personal WhatsApp messages here. We deal with official documentation. If only
Well, yes, welcome back, viewers. Well, Sean, I believe you are still there, and you've just heard one of the MPs saying that it's a lie. He's talking about an inscription that they are not for sale. That's basically what he says. Maybe you can take us on that one. What's the true story about the inscription that is on the boxes?
Yes. In photographs that we've seen online on the I see no images reflecting a sign that specifically or explicitly says not for sale. I can tell you categorically on the box for the product, it does say not for distribution in US, Canada, and the EU. And as I explained earlier, that is it's just a manufacturer's agreement between the manufacturers and the patent holders that they would Mylan would only distribute in their registered countries, and the patent holder reserves the right to distribute the product in the US, EU, and in Canada. And I really hope that the standard for a committee like this, where it's a public accounts committee, is higher than what I'm hearing, because what I'm hearing is that they've read a label and just made massive assumptions about the drug being a donation. We've got somebody else in Parliament today asked us, can we prove that it wasn't donated? Yes, we've got the invoices, we've got the import documentation, we've got proofs of payment. Can they prove it was donated? Because nobody seems to be able to take any responsibility or actually stand up and claim, yes, I donated it, or no, I didn't. As His Excellency claimed earlier, there was a rumor on social media that it was donated by WHO. If WHO donated nearly 10 million rands worth of medication and worth of drugs, surely it would have been in the newspapers. Surely they would have capitalized on the public perception of that, because it's a highly valuable contribution to society. And especially during the time of the pandemic, when things were so desperate, people were dying. We saw on social media, we saw people, videos circulating on WhatsApp of images from the Bonnie Government Hospital where people are crying and screaming because they just can't get any air. And, we come to the party and avail, this life-saving drug. And now we get these slanderous accusations going around. I agree with Dave. It's beyond reproach. It's disgusting.
Yes, I've just been looking at the box, actually the inscription outside. Do you believe that there may be anything else except what we are seeing here? Because the MPs are sure that they saw something that is not for sale but not for distribution. Isn't there anything else that we can talk about except what we are seeing on the picture right now?
No, certainly. If with the way the things were happening during the pandemic, just also for context, just for clarity, these drugs were arranged. They were sourced out of Namibia. We couldn't cross the border. The borders were closed at the time, so we arranged for the consignment to be shipped directly. it got across the border and it went straight to CMS. It didn't even come to our warehouse first. The situation was that desperate. There wasn't even time for us to properly take stock of what was sent. So we counted it there at CMS rather than bringing it into our inventory and then having to repack it and put it onto pallets and then reship it again just up the road to CMS. So we haven't seen the boxes that they came in. But it's not inconceivable at all that it may say not for sale, because during the pandemic, remdesivir was so closely and so tightly controlled, and everybody was so worried about the potential of somebody reselling and profiteering off of a drug like this, that it wouldn't surprise me at all if they printed on the box as not for sale, because the intent was for those drugs to go directly to a government, directly to the healthcare systems, and not pass into the public and private sector where people could retail it at exorbitant prices and try and capitalize off of people suffering. So if it says not for sale, it wouldn't surprise me at all. It would make worlds of sense given the situation in the world and what was happening around us at the time.
And there's this other allegation that some of the drugs supplied had expired. How can you explain that?
So no, we've never ever categorically supplied expired drugs. If there are expired drugs at CMS, I can't really speak to, and nobody at Swazi Farm could speak to that. We have the situations quite regularly, probably every month, where we have to destroy drugs just because we haven't been able to, as a wholesaler, sell them fast enough, and that managing your stock with short shelf lives is a very difficult task, from a practical perspective. So if CMS has expired drugs, mismanagement, poor stock management, or the pandemic starting to dry up and slow down, and the medication wasn't used as fast as projected. All possible reasons for why the drugs might expire. But Swazi Farm certainly has never supplied drugs that are already expired.
And then also during the interview with His Excellency Mr. Ashraff, I learned that actually made mention of Mr. Wachira, the UN resident coordinator, and also spoke about World Health Organization. Now, I spoke to those two. First, Mr. Wachira referred me to WHO, and WHO Dr. Tembo told me that she was not aware because she only came to the Kingdom of Eswatini last year, May, and it already had happened. Therefore, she's going to check on the regional office and within the local office about those developments. Did you ever inquire from both these parties just to find out exactly what happened, or else are they aware that they donated the drugs to government?
Not as far as we can tell. So we've asked the question. I mean, we've had this situation pop up in social media and in the newspapers on a few occasions. His Excellency reached out to both organizations for comment, just to essentially get an answer. Did you donate any remdesivir at all, or not? It's a yes or no. As I mentioned a little earlier, is if either of those organizations donated nearly 10 million Malangeni's worth of remdesivir to Eswatini, I'm certain we would have heard about it at the time, especially while things were so desperate during the pandemic. So we've asked the question, and we've yet to have a response. I mean, just even a yes or a no.
There's this other issue where the MPs are saying you were paid after 15 months, and they are saying in the interim there must have been cooking. Would you explain that?
Well, no, I can't. So I heard another claim that we invoiced a year later. That's also patently untrue. The invoices were issued about 2 weeks after the medication was delivered. Now, also just consider, it's the peak of the pandemic. People are dying. I mean, it's a desperate time. Somebody like the controlling officer of the Ministry of Health reaches out to you late at night on WhatsApp, okay, and says, "Hey, we're desperate. Can you help us?" Dave, to his credit, His Excellency, to his credit, they make dozen phone calls, pull strings, find the medication, reach out to sister companies, reach out to partners, and within 2 days they make it happen. The drugs are delivered, and when you're the largest pharmaceutical wholesaler in the country, speaking to the PS of the Ministry of Finance, sort of, you've done this once or twice. You know this gentleman. And if the controlling officer for the Ministry of Health gives you his word, I don't personally know exactly how the conversation went down, but I should imagine if this gentleman says to you, "Listen, we're desperate, we urgently need the help. Help us. If you manage, I'll get the paperwork done. I'll get you the PO, and you'll get your purchase order." I would take his word. And I think that's exactly what Mr. Melvin and His Excellency did. Is they took this gentleman at face value. They've worked with him before, being a big partner of the government's with regards to supply of medication. They took him at his word. They came to the party. They saved lives. And again, now we're coming back to this nonsense where they're getting mud slung at them for their good deeds.
Yes, and then one of the MPs actually came to a conclusion, even before the matter is concluded, that you may be called on to pay back the money. Did you hear that? And what's your take on that?
Well, I did hear it. It's a bit silly. They also, I think I mentioned it earlier, they said, can you prove that the drugs were not donated? If they can prove the drugs were donated, sure. But the reality is, we've got the proof of purchase. We've got the invoices. We submitted all the paperwork after the fact. We were paid 15 months after the fact. We had to fight for the money after coming to the party literally within 48 hours. It's just absurd that with all that's gone into that, and to get paid by government is not easy. Literally, all your paperwork has to be in order before they'll process a payment. You don't just get paid. So all the proof is there. The drugs were delivered, the drugs were sold, and the drugs were bought. If that doesn't make sense, then maybe I shouldn't finish that sentence. I don't want to be accused of being prejudiced to somebody who might have a learning disability.
So then also, Mr. Dave Melvin responded to some of the MPs about being a transport company. Well, one of the MPs had said that you were only tasked with transporting the items from Namibia to Eswatini. And what's your take on that as well?
Ever farm, not ever transport. I agree with Dave's comment. Is we're not a transport company. Ever farm is a pharmaceutical business, and the consignment was a pharmaceutical product. So I heard also in Parliament that it was suggested by somebody at CMS. As far as I'm concerned, that's hearsay. Let them put it on a statement. Let them swear to it in court. And again, we've got the invoices, we've got the cross-border documents. Their word against our evidence is it's not going to stand long in court.
You've been called again. You might have be arraigned before the PAC in 2 weeks. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Ready. Well, they made mention of some of the other issues that you are about to answer. You have to answer for. Are you ready for those as well?
100%. We've got nothing to hide. So one of the things that's confused us all along is we're not sure why the PAC has been trying to do this through the media. Just come and talk to us. We've got the documents. We've got the paperwork. If you're confused about something, we can help you a little bit. We can show you how to read the box and the label on it properly. And you know, we're happy to assist. It's not like it's the first time we've supplied government anything.
I see. Is there anything else that you'd like to say that I didn't ask you? I think it's more a personal comment, but I really do hope that the PAC, you know, given the importance of the work that they supposed to be doing, I really do hope that they're not just jumping to conclusions based on hearsay and assumptions based on little stickers on boxes. Because at the end of the day, you know, much like something that's got real gravity, like an audit, these things should be based on empirical evidence, right? And if it's based on assumptions and silly mistakes, and they're doing this much damage to, you know, legitimate, hardworking business people, I hope that in compensation we get to respond in kind, either through the courts or, you know, we get to settle it somehow, because it's not on if it's being put together like this, which it appears to be. With full intents and purposes, they haven't presented anything of any substance to suggest otherwise. Well, thank you very much, sir. I think this has been an enlightening interview. At least now that we have the other side of the story, because we've always been hearing one side of the story. At least now we know that Swazi Farm did buy drugs from Namibia. Now we are aware about some of the issues that we've been seeing as a rumor. And now some of them have been confirmed and some of them have been dispelled by your side. So thank you very much. And we hope that you will also again agree to come to us for another interview in the event. There's something that we want to find out with regards to this issue.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you very much. That was Mr. Sean Morgan. He's the business consultant at Ava Farm and Swazi Farm. He was telling us about some of the issues that were discussed in Parliament today, issues revolving around misconduct. That was actually some of the grievances that were made by the members of Parliament revolved around invoicing a year later, stories about Ava Farm was contracted to be a transport organization only. Will they be able to pay back the money? The inscription means that drugs were donated, also drugs were expired, and he's actually brought the other perspective to this matter. And for those viewers who've just tuned in, we had an interview with the Consul General of Indonesia, Mr. Kareem Ashraff, who also told us more about a number of issues. He spoke about the Funduzi report and spoke about all the other activities that took place during the COVID pandemic. And I believe that we are still going to conduct some more interviews, especially with the World Health Organization and the United Nations, just to find out if they indeed did donate remdesivir drugs to the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini. And for those viewers who do remember, His Majesty King Mswati III made an announcement and said that there was a wonder drug that had come from the Republic of China on Taiwan and was very helpful to COVID. And that's exactly this drug that we are currently talking about. And apparently I've been told that the drug was licensed to be produced in Taiwan. Yes, and it was transported by Maylan, or maybe it comes from Maylan, and also that the agent for the Southern African part is Mr. Ashraff and Swazi Farm. That's part of the story that I got. But in the event, there's a contrasting view on this one. I will also find out. And also, you can call us on 7607 3020 if ever you have some other information that we haven't really found out about this matter. Well, this show has been conducted, or rather broadcast for you, by Julisa Mamba on the other side, who's in charge of the transmission with Kebile Nchangase. And then also we have Siyabonga Dlamini, who's on the technical side. And the young lady on the other side also is S'khatsi Mamba, who's on graphics. And also our producer this side, and also our floor manager is Ayanda Mamba. I believe that also Mr. Mlina on the other side is also monitoring the activity and ensuring that sound and picture is perfect. Well, for the benefit of those viewers who may want to watch this program again, it will be repeated on Saturday at what time? I believe it will be at about 9 a.m. Yes, I've just been told it's about 9 a.m. So in the event you miss that show, then you'll be able to see it then. Also on our pages, channel Yemaswati or channel S Yemaswati, that we'll be able to see that one. And also please do watch those channels and follow those channels, because we bring you live interviews, we bring you live accidents, and bring you live issues around the kingdom of Eswatini. Well, my name is Tayo Mamba, and this is People and Places. Good night.
Imamba laba yesaphela bayisindwendwe beta market lo njengelizulu lasamtolo yendlovu yemhlaba ingani phela igqosho lokho lamahasha yebifika lamahasha yakumbula khona lutsithini nyaka nakubeka phona shiva kadakala swela bakangwana bakushanyana bakukhahlala netinyawo wila ngemphakulo etinkunzi letimbili dona tathi tiyawukhwela malagwane yimbela tathi tiyaphikisana esebalovula bebafana belitoto ingani thine besivalile bekungemadoda lamabili enyebe enyakatho enyebe eningizimu wila ngempele kodijinga letinsanzane ingani siyakuzonda isinjinga uthandwa izingatsha kuphela ekithe bendlovu yemhlaba ingene khona lutsithini ingani nemboka phela lendlovu yebo kweshiva kadakalaswela ingane ihlekweni senyangukuta ngisho kuwe phela heshane bakashabamu bese uyagijima phela unikufana besikoti kanti phansi phela bafana babuthelezi bese nembiyani yamkhawula ingane phela sekhendle kwenye president ngamathobane umahasha lomnyama ngani bekangakanani bekahlala sentendeni yesandla ngemambala phela thathise phela umnguni kanti nabasesheni khona sekukubalekela mjilota kithoka ngwane sebenzife siveka somhlolo afuma phansi phela amakhola ehlokoma tayekathaba takumthimba bathoma nabomgomlo ngavuthana setiko womlungu uzwendlovu ingani bayibhalile ingani bayibhala ngamaphamba ezibhamu ukhaya phasi kumagasa afane wamkhanza phela gasa wangwane balise kodla kwendlovukazi yemhlaba ingani bayengalikhotha lokumthelela ayikho phela ngani indlovu eyabheza indlovu aphesisika sekumsoti ingane phela edliwa izimfingo lo ndlovu ahlabile ngobhuta lo mahasha nabangabe kangakanani ngisho kube phela heshana bakashabangu webo phela heshana bakashabangu ufika uthatha phela umbhobho awunika indlovukazi yemhlaba wathi phakathi nemaswati ngabhiliyoni bese ubona komkhonzo nengovuma wase bakhanza bogogo namkhulu base bayakumila phela indlovukazi yemhlaba bathi hello sakubona phela ndlovukazi undlovu udla amagala ezihlahla kosi ndlovukazi mhlekazi akube kuhle ndlovu enamandla wena wekunene
bayethe wena phakathi wena ungangezintaba umqombo nyama yesibanda ingani utheseka wethula sengwayo tibiyoni wevakala sikhombeni sikathi lenyama isemnandi kuphekeni ingani yoba mnandi ekoseni khula tholele nyathi khula ndlaliselwa khula ndla amadoda athi mbimbe njalo kwetindiza tembutho esathini defense force etule sibhakabhakeni sakangwane tindize netinyonti yakangwane tihalalisele kukhula kwelive ukhulile Mswati iminyaka lengu55 akube kuhle nemifulweni kangwane uvakale inhloko mekhalalisela lona live akube kuhle wena wekunene boya wekutala kamdlulu waseyayiqala ke ingoma elisekwane nemambala ingaja yaseyamtuntuzela umntwana yaseyamtuntuzela ngangezwe isho seyikhuphuka ngenhlokomo lapha edule esikhaleni selisekwane inhlokomo lethi yavakala nalapha endasenhlambeni ngimatatasela nanga nemaqhawela salala elive lapha endasembanana evakala yahalalisa ngikukhulakela kangwane ngikhula kwengwenyama bayahalalisa bofonono awekutala kwaDuba bayahalalisa nabo maphefu akube kuhle wena wekunene akube kuhle eqathazi labhuza